Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah. Hayya ala falah, hayya ala falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
Assalamu alaikum again. Alhamdulillahi, akuduhu wa astaqinahu, wa astaqdihi wa astaqfiruhu, wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wa dahu la sharika lahu, wa ashhadu an Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. All praises due Allah. I praise Him and I seek His assistance and I seek His guidance and I ask for His forgiveness. I bear witness that there is no deity but Allah, the one. He has no associates, and I bear witness that Muhammad is His messenger. The Quran says, invite all to the way of your Lord with wisdom and beautiful preachings, and argue with them in ways that are best and most gracious, for your Lord knows best who has strayed from the path. O believers, when the call is given for the Jummah prayer, hasten to the remembrance of Allah and leave your trading. This is best for you if you but know. And as Muslims, we want to remember that although this is a holy day, and every day is a holy day, after the Jummah, we should go back to taking care of the business. This is not a day for, some people, it's not a Sabbath. It's a holy day, but it's not the Sabbath where, it's illegal to work. We should continue to take care of the business after the Jummah. Assalamu alaikum, and again, welcome to the Jummah at the New Africa Islamic Center here in Washington, in Southeast Washington, D.C. Before I get into my talk, I want to set a context so that you can get more of an understanding of what I'm talking, or what my talk is about. The title of my talk today is The Benefits of Religion. And what moved me to this talk was, I guess it's 3 or 4 things in particular. Firstly, I have been paying a lot of attention to a lot of the information that, the world news and things that people are doing. And there's a very strong women's movement right now, an international women's movement. And from what I've been hearing, and it's making a lot of sense to me, a lot of things that people are saying. And that one of the leaders of this movement is one of our very respected presidents. He only had 1 term, but I got a lot of respect for him as a humanitarian. Jimmy Carter. He recently wrote a book, right? And I've been listening to, they've had him on a lot of shows and given him some airtime to talk about it. And he has been visiting a lot of countries, and they have allowed him to be involved in some of the Muslim countries, and with the Muslim women problems, right? And then there's another woman, she's an author, her name is Karen Armstrong. I saw her on a program, and she's got a book, and they was having a discussion, and it was very interesting what she was saying. This is what she was saying, some of the things she was saying, and I'm going to get into, my form is here, but I want you to understand, why, I'll be saying some of the things that I say. She was talking in particular about the Muslims, and she said that they had a real bad problem with in some of the Muslim countries where they were disfiguring, and they were the women genitalia, you know. And so they say that it's not as bad as it used to be, you know, that with education, a lot of the women, you know, a lot of that is disappearing, right? And they were saying that simply with education, of educating the women, that a lot of these problems have disappeared. And they say that it was easy to convince the governments, right, that the governments and the politicians weren't the problems on this particular issue, right? And that, you know, that it's still going on in some places, right? And this is a particularly interesting part. Said it's still going on in some places. She was talking about the Muslims, right? And she says that where it's still going on is it is not the men that's wanting the women to do it. It is the old ignorant women who are carrying on this particular custom, right? And so this is the part right here. She said that what they have found out is that the reason why it was so prevalent in the first place is because these people, they call themselves Muslims. These women call themselves Muslims, but they couldn't even read the Quran to see that it wasn't in the Quran. And this woman, she didn't appear to be a Muslim, but she knew that it wasn't in the Quran. And she said that's a big problem in a lot of places with customs. People, they don't know their own religions. They don't know that it's not Sharia for them to do these things. And they were saying it was other things, including the how people or how women are not allowed to be educated. And so their lack of education, they don't know what the religion is, you see. And so they're raising their children under this, you know what I mean? And so the ignorance is being, you know, passed on generationally, right? So anyway, and then the other part of it is three things. That right there, and then, and I think it's all connected. It's all connected in my mind. There was another program that I looked at, right? The scientific program. And it was this guy, this scientist, he was at Chernobyl, right? He was at Chernobyl. Y'all know what Chernobyl is? That is a place in Russia where they had a nuclear accident, right? A meltdown of these nuclear things they use for energy, right? It melted down and it polluted and poisoned a large area, right? And then there's Fukushima in Japan. And the same scientist was in different places, right? And so, and I think it's necessary, I got to give you this part so you can understand when I get into my talk why I'm using what I'm using, okay? And he had, they studied the bugs, right? And so some of the bugs they looked at, they took one normal beetle, and then they took another beetle that was still living in this area. And on the back of the beetle where it was defined in geometric design, the beetle that was raised in the poison and the pollution, his design was all mocked up and muddled. You see what I'm saying? It had deformities, right? And they used this, and then they looked at the spiders. And the spider webs, a normal spider web is geometric. You can see all of them geometric. You can see it's a wonder, right? But the spiders in these spots, right? They showed the web. They showed the actual web. It was raggedy. It was raggedy. You understand? You could see something. You could see the deformity in the spider webs, right? So that's what pollutant does to nature. That's what poison does to the nature of a thing. You see? And we have poisons and we have pollutants in the world, right? That go after our mind and our spirits, right? Okay. And the other word, and the other thing, and all this is to give you a context, The other thing is this. The foundation, one of the foundations of religion is gratitude. Okay? Never forget your gratitude. Okay? Don't think that gratitude, if you ain't got no gratitude, you ain't got no religion. You ain't got no deen. Okay? All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah is He than whom there is no other God. He knows all things, both secret and open. Most gracious, most merciful. Allah is He that whom there is no other God, the sovereign, the Holy One, the source of peace and perfection, the guardian of faith, the preserver of safety, the exalted in might, the irresistible, the justly proud. Glory to Allah high is He above the partners that attribute to Him. He is Allah, the creator, the originator, the fashioner. To Him belongs the most beautiful names. Whatever's in the heavens and earth do declare His praises and glory, and He is the exalted in might, the wise. He, Allah, created a human being, taught him the art of intelligence and distinct speech. We have sent to you this perfect book for no other purpose but that you may explain to the people things over which they differ among themselves, and that it may serve as a guidance and a mercy for people who believe in it. And Allah has sent down water and divine revelation from above, and with it He has given life to the whole of the earth after its death. Surely there is a sign in this for people who would listen to the truth. O mankind, reverence your guardian Lord, who created you from a single nafs, created of like nature His mate, and from them twain scattered like seeds, countless men and women. Reverence God Allah, through whom you demand your mutual rights, and reverence the womb that has bore you, for God Allah ever watches over you. There's much to think about, all of us, for all of us. And today I would like to talk about just a few reasons why the Deen of Islam is a benefit to man and woman. In the above aforementioned are more than a few reasons. I could go on and on about what the Quran says, because the Quran is just the Quran is a living book. It's alive, and you could read it today, and you could read it tomorrow, and you're going to get more tomorrow than you got today. And then you read it next week, and it's like just reading. It's almost like reading a brand new book, because it's a living book. It's relevant. You know, life is moving around us, and the Quran is most relevant for us as human beings. So as our situation changes, the information in the Quran changes. It doesn't change its context or its purity. It's pure, but it's living. You see what I'm saying? It's breathing, and it's always relevant to our lives. I don't have to, today I'm not going to try to get into, and I'm not going to, we don't have to talk about the real deep things, because sometimes we get to talking and we try to be deep and all up here, and we lose the point, and we lose the essence of some of the things that we need to deal with, right? What the Quran says, and it would mean nothing. What the Quran says would mean nothing, and it don't mean nothing to some people, but it means so much to us as Muslims. But the reason why it means something to us, and it all starts with us being a shaheed. You must be a shaheed before you can be a Muslim. Before you can be any person that says they believe truly in a religion. You must be a shaheed first. Something has to be going on inside. Something has to click and connect before you can truly be a Muslim. As a matter of fact, before you can be a conscious adult Muslim believer, you got to say you bear witness. That's part of it. You got to say you bear witness to the belief in the one God, and you have to bear witness in your heart first to the one God working in yourself, in your life, and in creation. And to be a witness and to be a Muslim, you got to be a witness that Muhammad ibn Abdullah is Allah's messenger and prophet to all of humanity. We say, Ashhadu. I mean, I witness. Ashhadu. You can't be a Muslim unless you say Ashhadu. Ashhadu in la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu. And you witness that Muhammad is the prophet of Allah. There's something happening inside that must be accepted first. And you say, where it come from? This is Allah put it in you. Where you think it came from? And that's a mercy in itself. That's a blessing. It's a blessing to be a Muslim. It's a blessing to be a believer in the one God. You know, that's just, it don't happen by osmosis. It's a blessing. And Allah put it there for a purpose. And actually, it's a part of your natural. And remember some of the things we talked about at the beginning. It's a part of your natural pattern. It's a part of your natural being to recognize the presence of God in yourself and to be a witness to God working in other things. They have an argument, and they have a group what they call the New Atheists, right? New Atheists. And the deal with the New Atheists is that they slicker than the outright heathen that say he don't believe in God. They get scientific with it. You see what I'm saying? But for myself, I've always liked science, and I don't see how you could deal with science and not believe in God. That's just, you know what I mean? I don't have no degrees or anything in science, you know, in biology or physics or anything like that. But I don't see how you could believe in science or the high sciences and not believe in God. Even Einstein said, he said, and we know who Einstein is, right? They say he one of the smartest men that ever existed, whatever. Einstein said that physics, we know physics is the law of nature, right? Physics. He said that physics is the whispering of God. You see, he said that the pure science or physics is the words, is the whispering of God. You see, and you'll find that a lot of scientists do believe in God. A lot of very brilliant people believe in God. So don't get caught up in that kind of rhetoric. And that just the other thing that I want you to be aware of, spirituality. You see, this is another play. You know, I'm spiritual, but I don't need religion. You see, I'm spiritual. You see, what does that mean? I don't even know what that means. I don't. And we have to deal with, it is a war. It's a lot going on, you know. And the thing is, it's always somebody fighting for influence in your life. It's always somebody wanting you to do this way, do that this way, do it. And it's for profit mostly, you see. So we have to give Islam, and I ask you to give Islam a chance. If you're new, if you're not new, then what I'm saying to you is just some more ammunition for you, right? But this is the other thing right here. if I ask you, if you told me you were a Muslim, and if I ask you, well, why are you a Muslim? You know, why are you a Muslim? Why are you in religion? Why are you in this religion? Can you give reasons why you in religion? Can you give any reasons why you in the deen? And are you worried about, you know, I mean, do you think you have to be real scientific in explaining that to somebody? I had a person, I'm going to get more into this, but I had a person ask me, a nurse asked me, she was interviewing me, and she said, "You're a Muslim, Mr. Shabazz?" I said, "Yeah." So she says, well, why are you a Muslim? And I didn't want to get, so I didn't get scientific. You know what I told her? I said, I like the way it makes me feel about myself. I said, it makes me, I like when I do things right. And I like the way, the more I do things right in Islam, the better I feel about myself. What I mean by that is the better, you know, the more on time I am with my prayers, I like myself better. I feel better, right? The more I learn, you know, the better I feel, right? The more involved I get with my family, which is Islam, I feel better, right? The kinder I am and more active I am in my community, I feel better about myself, which is Islam, you see? So you don't have to get real complicated. And if Islam, if you being a Muslim, you don't feel good about it, then I ask you to check with an Imam first, you know, before you leave the religion. Ask somebody that you know has studied and learned, an older person hopefully, and ask them, because it might be something that you may be conflicted. It may be something, you can't sell dope and think you're going to feel good about yourself being a Muslim. You can't be a stick-up person or a criminal. You can't be evil all the time. You can't be angry and arguing with your family and your mother and your brothers and sisters and your wife and think that just because you say you're a Muslim, you're going to feel good, or you're supposed to feel good, you see. And you need to read the book, and you need to study, and you need to investigate. And if you are reading the right kind of information, if you have the right kind of other Muslims around you to help you with your growth, you'll get better. And believe me, we all have habits, good and bad. And we all struggle with different things. So don't give up the Islam and continue to do the crazy things. Step off, wean yourself off of the craziness and grow yourself more into a Muslim, right? Okay. That, and we should understand about religions that there's only one religion, really, if you want to get down to the facts. There's only one religion. From Adam to Muhammad to us today, one religion. And there's evidence of that. You can see the evidence of that when you talk about one true religion. Because there are many crazy, you know, I'm not talking about idol worship, although some people call idol worships and stuff like that. That is a religion. It's not the deen of al-Islam, you see. But why is it that Adam is the father of mankind, right? We can agree on that, right? And then don't forget the importance, the very, very, very importance of Ibrahim, Prophet Ibrahim, Father Ibrahim. They call him the father of all three of the major religions. There are more people on the planet Earth that you can say belong to the Ibrahimic faiths than any other people on the face of the planet Earth. And if they could get it together, which maybe one day they will, if they could get it together, then nobody could do nothing with them. You see. The benefits of religion can be found throughout creation in many different forms and shapes, and in different people and in different creatures. Allow me to give you the Webster third edition definition of religion. This is the word religion, right? Because some of the purists tell me that religion don't mean deen, right? And deen and religion are two different things, and blah, 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 which I don't accept, because if you say religion, I basically understand what you're saying. You don't have to, we don't have to get into an argument about that. I know you can say, if you say the religion of Al-Islam, I don't have to say the deen of Islam every time you say the religion of Islam. I understand what you're saying. So let's not be so crazy. And then when you look into what the word itself means, see if you don't find some truth in it yourself. The definition of religion: it means reverence. It means piety, to tie back, to tie up, to tie fast. The personal commitment to and serving of God, or a God, with worshipful devotion. Conduct in accord with divine commandments, especially as found in accepted sacred writings or declared by authoritative teachers. A way of life recognized as incumbent on true believers, and typically the relating of oneself to an organized body of believers. I don't think that's so bad. Is that so crazy? You can't see that somebody could say that Islam is a religion. I see it. Devotion, piety, reverence, a tying back. And see, a tying back, I always thought that was interesting, because some people say a binding, right? A tying back. That's religion is also a filter. It's a filter also. Some might say, brother, word religion, this is the deen of Al-Islam. Okay, deen. The root of the word deen is dana. It's pronounced dana. That's the root of the word deen. And it means to be indebted, to profess faith, debt that one owes, lend, give a loan, requite, be honored, be revealed, comply, rebel, have a good or bad habit, serve, do good, profess, constrain, judge, reveal, submit to, dana, debt, that which one owes, loan, credit, linen, dinum, requital, recompense, judgment, authority, management, reckoning, faith, custom, condition, affair, religious laws, a sect, victory, government, power, obedience. So when you say religion and deen, we're talking mostly about the same thing. And it's easy to see why it's said that religion is one. It should be easy. If you study, you can see that it's easy to believe that there's one religion. And in fact, the Quran says that it was revealed. It tells you that it was revealed not as a new revelation, but it was revealed to clarify and to update past revelations. You see, if we open up the book, and when you don't see Jesus, and if you don't see the word Allah, which in some Bibles, in countries where they don't speak English, they say Christian Bibles, Christian script, they say Allah. See? You got Christians that say Allah. You wouldn't know the scriptures are pretty much the same. Except when they get to talking about the Trinity and things like that, you can see that, then they got a little off, I must say that Scripture reads basically the same. And with Father Abraham being so very important to us, that's why they're called the Abrahamic faith, Judaism, Christianity, Islam. And they all, even though I choose Islam, all of the religions, when you examine them, they have the same purpose. They have the same purpose. And with this, look, I would like to just share some other information, right, that I gathered. I was online and I looked up benefits of religion, right? And I was kind of surprised at what I got. And I didn't think that they were so far off that I couldn't share it with you. So let me just share some of the information. And these are done as surveys, particularly the second one I'm going to read to you. It says, religion can be defined as a strong belief in supernatural power that holds the sole authority to control human destiny. It is an institution that helps to express our belief in heavenly power. Religion is as old as human civilization and came to existence when the human brain became superior to realize the significance of faith and worship. Earlier human beings lived in small groups, and each group recognized an icon that harmonized the ideologies of different people in the group. Rituals are in essence part of lives and were carried for natural resource icons, which are sun, moon, fire, river, etc. That means that they, in the beginning, man worshiped rocks. He worshiped nature before he realized that there was something behind nature. And that's one of the great things about Prophet Abraham. May Allah be pleased with him. Peace and blessings be upon him. He's the one, right, that said, at first he looked at the moon, right? And he thought the moon was God. And then he saw the moon set. It waxed and waned and it set. And so he said, you're not God, right? So then he looked at the sun. And the same thing, and actually, he says, you rise and you set. But what he realized that was the physical power, and there was something behind that greater than it, than just that burning ball of fire, as great as it is. And since its beginning, religion has been very beneficial for humans, and it still holds an important place in the lives of people. That many benefits of religion include. Okay, number one, it helps in spiritual growth. Religion helps in the spiritual growth of a person. Their beliefs in the supernatural are strengthened and confirmed. Exploration of spirituality results in the personal growth of followers. It aids, number two, aids in mental health. Religion aids to improve the mental health of a person. It includes the general mental well-being of the followers. It helps in the reinforcement of belief, which in turn is good for mental health. It provides a medium for friendship. Congregational members of any religion enter into wonderful friendships that last for their entire life. It improves, number four, it improves creative skills. Religion helps in building creative artistic skills of the follower through prayer and music. Congregational members practice in choir and decorate the place for various religious celebrations. They're talking about all religions, okay? It improves a person's strength for adverse conditions. It strengthens you as a person, gives you something to work with. in this world. The faith of a person holds in one's religion gives him the strength to struggle with obstacles. Religion thus helps to improve the strength of a person and makes him a better person. Number 6, religion helps to sympathize people in grief. And we all have grief. And you need help dealing with your grief, believe that. Religion helps people who are lonely and suffering from grief. The faith of many people has increased in religion after the loss of loved ones. At the time of sadness and loneliness, religion can play an important role in offering sympathy to a person and support. It improves the physical health. Now this is a big deal for all of us, that mental health piece, and this should be a big deal for you. Religion benefits help to improve the physical well-being of a person. There have been cases where physically unwell people have regained health after they became followers of a particular religion. Religion is a completely personal choice that should be left to choose of individuals. It is unfair to force a religion on followers in some other religion through offering gifts and cash, or through oppression. And there are, I'm going to read this other one because I still got a little time, and I think it's good information. And I'll say this, I know for a fact that I've seen many different surveys that people have done where they tell you that people who have faith in God live longer. People who have faith in God, in the one God, have healing powers that don't see in other people. You see? All right, this is a different one. It said it puts a smile on your face. Say religious people tend to be happier than non-believers. According to research published in December 2010 in the Journal of American Sociological Review, this happiness boost comes not from any particular denomination or belief, but from the social joys of being part of a regular service. Getting together with others at a place of worship allows people to build social network, closer ties, and ultimately more life satisfaction. And if we know anything about our deen, we know that the deen of Islam stresses community life. It raises self-esteem. It says that depending on where you live, religion may also make you feel better about yourself, making you feel a part of a larger culture. People who are religious have higher self-esteem and better psychological adjustment than people who aren't, according to the January 2012 study. It soothes anxiety. It protects against depressive symptoms. It even motivates you to go visit the doctor. And they say that the more you the more people that visit a doctor, that adds on to your years of life, because once you do need doctors for things. It says that it lowers your blood pressure. And this is a survey that, they went out and talked to people all through the world. You see. So anyway, I got some other things I want to share with you, but let us pray for forgiveness. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillahi wa salatu wa salamu alayhi kariyah Muslim Muhammadin wa alayhi wa sahbihi ajma'in. All praise is due to Allah. We ask Allah's peace and blessings on the one best among the prophets, Muhammad ibn Abdullah, as well as on his family and companions. Amen. Assalamu alaikum again. I'm stressing today. I'm stressing today, and I'm trying to give you something to think about on the benefits of religion. And I'm trying to give you something to work with. As an individual, as a group, as an individual, I want you to think, and I want you to have some ammunition when you are moving through the streets and in your endeavors and in your dealing with people. We as Muslims should be able to articulate why we're Muslim. We should be able to articulate why we choose this deen or that we choose this religion. And I was hurt to hear about those conditions that our women are going through. And in particular in the Muslim community, there's so many things that are happening negatively that go directly to people not knowing their deen. I mean, it goes right to them not knowing what the religion are. They standing up there, and some of them got money, some of them got machine guns, 50 caliber machine guns, they got the rocket launchers, and they don't know a thing about Islam or what it is to be a Muslim. And I never forgot this. Some years ago, the Imams used to teach, I heard it over and over, and I never forgot it. They say that you got to be the one to defend the religion. You got to be able to defend your religion, your deen. You got to be able to, excuse me, you got to make it live, and you got to be the one that defend it. And defend it don't mean running up and down the street with a machine gun, because the kind of defense that is needed, it done got by them. See, they got a machine gun, but they don't have what they need to defend the religion. And that's a knowledge of the religion, you see. So always be willing to improve yourself. It's not always exciting to sit down and read. It's not always exciting to listen to someone talk on subjects, different subjects. But that's a sacrifice that you should make for your own well-being. You should be willing to make that sacrifice, to sit down, and especially just once a week, come together with your brethren and your sisters and listen. Listen for something that you can use. I'm not perfect, and I know I make mistakes, and I pray that Allah forgive me, and I pray that you forgive me for the mistakes that I make. But my intentions is not to make mistakes, and I'm hoping that you're able to get something out of this that you can remember. I have some more information on a few things and a few words about religion, and I pray that you have patience to sit through it and listen. And I like to talk myself, but sometimes me just talking, I can give you something better from a source than me talking sometimes. Now this is Focus in Al-Islam. This is an interview of Imam W.D. Muhammad, right? And then I'm going to show you a little something from this, and then we'll be through. Matter of fact, I think we'll probably be out of here early today. This is an interview that he did some years ago. It says that man's highest development is following the discipline of God. Certainly, it is a life discipline. In fact, we see our religion as a higher expression of man and a higher expression of what God has done in the external world. These bodies that we have to exist upon, as with the earth, are fed by energies from the sun, the moon, and very important in the life of man. As in all of these bodies and all of these forces operating in the universe, they're under law also, they're disciplined. And we believe that the highest development of man is for him to conform to the universal discipline God intended for him. And that's the highest development possible for man. And again, regarding prayer, there are the obligatory prayers and the sunnah prayers, and the family prays with the congregation, but they also have to pray alone. To pray alone in our religion means you may have to know something about the Quran, because you have to recite Quran in your prayers. So you have to know some verses of the Quran. Also, you have to be able to go through every step of the prayer. You have to know what the Kaaba is, and you have to be able to direct yourself towards the Kaaba, the holy house of Mecca, built by Abraham, the prophet, and his son Ishmael, peace be upon them. So that's a sign right there. That is our religion. The individual must be responsible for his religious life. And when you take your shahada, that's your commitment. You saying you a witness. You see, you're not saying my grandmama is a Muslim and I'm a Muslim. You're not saying my mama told me I should do that. You saying you witness. You see what I'm saying? If the individual is neglected, then we will just preach religion and get rituals, and the individual is not given the opportunity to learn something from the men in this religion, to get some insights as he grows to adult age. A young man should grow also in the ability to perceive, to think. There are even greater messages in his religion from the readings and the study of the Holy Book, the Quran. He should be able to come to a town where there's no Muslims and practice his religious life, and not have to go to the mosque or the church or any holy place to have someone remind him that he should be Muslim or that he should practice his religion. He should be able to go where there's no other Muslim and still live his Muslim life and practice his religion. He should be able to conduct himself properly as a Muslim in business, properly as a citizen in the country, as a neighbor to his neighbor, and is non-Muslim, although he is Muslim, or who may be non-Muslim, although he's a Muslim. He should be able to do all of this by himself. That means we should know, we should study, and we should know our deen. The true Muslim should even be able to establish a new Muslim community. He should be able to go where there are no Muslims and establish a new Muslim community. So in our religion, the responsibility of guaranteeing the life of that religion and advancing its causes of the religion are on the individual as well as on the community. And in the final end, the life of the religious community depends on the life of that religion in the individual. Because once it dies in the individual, there's no hope for community. That's just something for us to think on. And we will get out of here early. Just want to share something else. This is life, the final battlefield. And you know, a lot of people, you know, a lot of us, although even we even say we're Muslim, we got funny thoughts about when somebody say they follow somebody. But that's something that you got to deal with. I don't have no problem. Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is my leader, my number one leader. Allah is my God, and Prophet Muhammad is my number one leader. But I have other leaders in life. I have other men and women that I have looked up to and still look up to and consider as leaders in my life. Okay? Let's see. This is just something else from Imam Muhammad. It says, the day of religion, if you would translate Yom Adin literally without interpreting it or translating it or applying it from some other language of the guidance of Muslims in the Quran, He say that I'm jumping into I'm not trying to stretch this out, okay? Yom Adin. Okay, and we should translate it as the day of religion. Deen in Arabic is very closely associated with the word that means depth, or the Arabic word dain. That is how we are to understand religion in the Quran. It refers to the depth of the creature to the Creator. We are indebted to the Creator of everything, including mankind, for whatever we have of good use in our lives and His creation. We are indebted to Him, and we should be our own, and that should be our most important view of man's relationship with God. We are indebted to Him, Allah, and that should be our most important view of man's relationship to God. We owe God for everything. Man is created to be conscious, and for his consciousness to reach to the far regions of the heavens and earth to behold the unity for the logic supporting matter, keeping matter's existence and preserving its nature of performance as God created it. That's just something else for us to think about. We should study, and I need to study more. There's medicine in the practice of our deen. And if things can get better with the practice, of other people's lives. We see other people's lives. Let me put it this way. Let me break it down for you. For me, I grew up out here, right? And most of the guys in my crew, in DC, we don't say gang, we say my crew. And that don't mean that we was hustling dope. That means the guys that we associated with. Most of the guys in my crew are dead, right? Those who are not dead are in the church, right? And it's not a whole lot of them that made it to the church. Most of the guys, they didn't like church. They didn't like religion. They did. Simple as that. I don't have to get into their qualities or whatever. I'm hurt, blah, blah, blah. I don't have to get all into that. And so I'm going to end sort of like what I started. There are so many benefits, and you know yourself, there's so many benefits to religion, to the practice of especially this religion, you see. And if there are benefits in other religions, alhamdulillah. But I know that if they're benefiting, then I'm really getting something because of the way Islam is, Islam is fit for me, you see. It's fit for me. And it's fit for a lot of you because you keep showing up and you like Islam. And see, Islam is like, what it does is, y'all know anything about gyms? Gyms, not where you exercise, but I'm talking about diamonds and rubies and things like that, right? They go through a process, right? A natural process, right? And the most valuable gems, right, are not the biggest gems. So you can get a diamond like that. You can get a diamond like that. So many carats, blah, 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 blah. And then you can get a diamond like that. And this diamond, the smaller diamond, can be worth more than the bigger diamond. Why? Because it's got less flaws in it. It's got less blemishes. It's clarity, clarity. See, and as individuals, the more we work on ourselves, the more we get rid of our complexes, get rid of our social ills, the better persons and more we work as persons. And that's one of the things that religion does. It helps you to be a better person. It's a real practical way to work on you as a person. And it does. The less flaws you have, don't worry about what color you are, what shape you are, you see, what size you are. Work on your flaws as a human being. When I say flaws, you know, envy, jealousy, hatred, anger, you know, criminality. Work on those things. And the more you clear those things up, the more valuable you become as a human being. To your family, to yourself, to God, Allah, to your family, to society. You see what I'm saying? And people treat valuable things different than they do things that are not so valuable. You see? So we want to make sure that as we make our pattern through life, that we're not the ones, we're not like the spider that's so poisoned and corrupted, right? And so ill from the poison and the corruption that its home is raggedy. It was raggedy. It was pitiful, and I felt for the spiders, you know, and I do, you know, that they were sick, you see. But here's something that can help you. You know, not a doctor's appointment. You know, go to the doctor, of course, but I'm just saying, here's something to get. This is some really strong medicine, something sweet that can help you make yourself a better person, you see. I hope that you understand. I hope that you got something from, you know, what I had to say. You know, my intentions definitely was not to give you some bad information, you see, and I hope that nobody's feelings are hurt or anything like that, and that's definitely not my intention. Our Lord, let not our hearts deviate after you have guided us. Grant us mercy from your presence, for Allah, for you, Allah, are the granter of bounties without measure. O Allah, we seek your refuge from the knowledge that brings no good, and from the heart that has no fear of Allah. O Allah, protect us from the self that cannot be satisfied, and from the prayer that cannot be entertained. O Allah, give us good in this life, and protect us from the torment of the hellfire. Akim as-salam.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.
Straight. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Takbir. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كويا أيا هل كفرون لا بدو ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عبدون ما أعبد ولا أن عبدون ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عبدون ما Abu Laikmu Dinukum Wali Yadin. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Bismillah min Hamida. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. يا كان أقول إياك نستعين بنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين
آمين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لا يفكس الذين آمنوا الصالحات وتصبر حتى الصبر الله أكبر
الله أكبر.
سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Thank you all, brothers, for coming. And we got bills to pay, so we appreciate it. And the zakat that you're going to give. Don't forget your zakat. Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. Right there? Good to see you.